Law Talk with Nick Maruchak, thanks to MKI Legal, your trusted employment and family lawyers.
Nick Maruchak joins us from MKI Legal. Happy birthday for Sunday. A landmark birthday for you too, Nick. You've made it. You made it to the big 40.
Yes.
It's
a hell of a day to have it on Sunday. I think I'm going to remember that tragic day.
For sure.
Yeah, but so the big 40. I didn't even have a chance to even plan my party because I've been busy all year, but I'm going to have my party next year.
Are you? 41st?
No, I'm going to have my 40th next year. I don't think you have to have your birthday on your month. You can just have it when it's convenient. And it's just not convenient.
You do work. You have put in a massive year this year, so thank you for your thoughts and your expertise. If anyone wants to ring Nick, they can. We'll have a look at some of the topics that we've covered this year, and I think I've sort of joked with you that one of the things you do, which is amazing about your firm does and you, is this thing about the binding financial agreements or the prenups.
Mm-hmm.
We waited to the end of the year before you've let us know about that one, so you've buried the lead, as we like to say in journalism circles. But that's okay. People should know that Nick has an online portal where you can get yourself organised on a binding financial agreement, which a lot of people do these days for simplicity and clarity.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you've got a second relationship, you want to protect maybe an inheritance coming in. It's a great tool. You don't have to divide everything. You might be able to just quarantine certain assets. Go, look, I've got this house I brought in. I want to keep that safe. Maybe I want to keep it for my children from the first relationship. And they can get really expensive. Many lawyers charge $10,000 for them. And so you need a lawyer involved because a lawyer actually signs the documents. They take responsibility so we do it pretty cheap. We do it for $1,500. But if you're a 6PI listener, tell me.
Ask the question, and you never know. There
I'll
might
knock
be
it down to $1,000.
A deal might be coming. That's very generous. Thank you, Nick. Let's go to the phones. If you have a legal question, Nick's very, very good. And look, I will say one of the great qualities of Nick Maruchak is he'll have a think about your issue and maybe take it away and maybe follow up if you can't solve it today. And this is generic advice that we provide during this segment. G'day, Carol.
Good morning to both of you.
Hi, Carol.
Nick, what it is I'd like to have advice on, I've got a young man living next door to me. He's lived there for over 14 years. I've had ongoing trouble with him with my fence, to the point he has dug away from his side of the fence so that the soil on my side of the fence goes into his place underneath the fence itself. I've had my grandson come and we've put a full-length piece of sheeting, metal, cut it in half and put it down my side of the fence to try and stop some of the sand going into his place. But the fence he has just dug away all the way along the side. What can I do about it?
Okay, so there's a few questions here. It sounds like this might be also a retaining wall issue. So if someone, because a fence is governed by the Dividing Fences Act, there's a very specific process you have to follow. So if the fence gets damaged through no one's fault, then each party goes 50-50 into the repair and you have to go through that process. But retaining walls are not covered by that legislation, but they are covered by the court. So if someone has altered the natural level of the ground, so if he has dug below the natural level of the ground and then that caused the fence to tip, then he should have put in a retaining wall, right? So that's my understanding of what happened. Is that right?
That's exactly right. Now, he originally said my fence was 6 centimetres in his land. Well, unfortunately, the fence was 10 centimetres into his land. He got a surveyor out. I got a lawyer from the Citizens Advice Bureau, and he said to give him a letter. He can't touch the fence until a surveyor's been there. Mm-hmm. I gave him the letter, and he immediately pulled the fence down until the surveyor came along. Then we found that the fence was not in the right place, which didn't bother me at all. He put the fence back up, and then he's proceeded to dig away from the bottom. One part of it, my son came and put a retaining wall in at the bottom of the fence. But if you go into his side of the place, he immediately has you up for trespass. Mm-hmm. He unfortunately is taking different substances, so there's no reasoning with this young man. He is, yes.
Very complex. Nick, thoughts?
Okay, so So the fence can be moved to the right boundary, so that's one. The other thing is if he has the right to stop people from going his land, so the trespass thing, you have to kind of respect that. The issue here is, sounds like you've got a claim. If the fence was damaged because he dug the dirt down, then you can make a claim in the magistrate's court to make him pay for the entire cost of the fence because he damaged it. The cost is only shared if it was caused by no one's fault. And here, if the retaining wall issue as well can also be litigated in addition to the Dividing Fences Act. So it's probably something you might want to start at least threaten legal proceedings. And if you can avoid it by getting him to fix the retaining wall and all of that stuff, then that's fine. But if you like to leave your details, Carol, I can just give you a quick call to give you some tips and maybe give you some wording you can use. But you will have to follow Dividing Fences process to give him notice before you go to court. There's a whole bunch of stuff you have to do. So it sounds like there's a claim for you, and you would have a reasonably solid chance of getting a win, but hopefully you can resolve it first. So if you'd like to leave your details, let's do that.
Yeah, thanks, Carol. I'll put you back to Soph and to Kira. Thank you for phoning in. What did you get for your birthday? Did you get a nice 40th present?
I'm very hard to buy for.
Are you?
Yeah, because my wife asked me, what do you want? And I go, nothing. So my 5-year-old son picked a pair of Crocs for me. So
I've got some Crocs. My godson bought them for me. And you just got to wear them, right? You don't really want to, but you got to.
Yeah, it's Minecraft or something.
Get some gibbets. You get some little things that you stick in them.
Yeah, mine lights up every time I walk. So it's annoying.
When are you going to have some more kids?
Well, yeah, probably.
You don't have to answer that.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Thanks for pretending to answer it.
Ooh, that's the one, mate.
G'day, Dee.
Hi, Nick. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Dee.
Look, mine is a very complex case, so I'm just going to pick a couple of areas which have been ignored by my employer. So I've been a long-term employee for a government department that provides excellence in education, apparently. So on and off, I've been a fixed-term contract for about, I think I've had 5 of them. Prior to that, I had an 18-month break, which has killed my long service, but I was casual lecturer for many years, which suited me. So anyway, my contract's not being renewed. I have had a case to convert to permanent for a number of years, which was ignored. I was merit selected and ignored, and subsequently my fixed-term contract 12 months ago was cut from full-time to 0.5, which left me financially destitute for the last 12 months. I'm not trying to play the victim, just putting it in perspective, but I was told that, you need to go and get tertiary qualifications because the new standards have come in, which I have done. I am in session, I started in session 2 in July. I'm now in session 3, which I brought forward instead of doing it in March. So I can show that I've made satisfactory progress. However, the employer says, oh no, that's not good enough, we're not renewing the contract. So I guess the 2 questions are, should I have more time to obtain that qualification? And I was of the understanding that the Cook government brought in legislation so that permanency was more of a right, not a privilege. Yeah. Would I be wrong in saying that?
Yes. So, Dee, do you work for the WA government? Are you in a government department?
It is.
Yeah.
It is state government, but in the education area, adult education.
So this is the big difference. So there are a lot of laws in place, such as, for example, fixed-term contracts under the Fair Work Act cannot go longer than 2 years now. That's a cap. But you're covered by the state system. So you're in the WA legislation, and then especially in government department, that's a far more complicated system. You guys have stuff like the Public Sector Management Act and a whole bunch of public sector standards that have to be followed. So you're not covered by the Fair Work Act, so you don't get a lot of those same privileges that do apply to non-government employees. So I think the best thing we can do is I'll have a chat with you off air, get more details. I'll dig into some of the standards, that apply and see if I can point you in the right direction. But I can often say when you go and challenge the government, when you sue the government, they are very aggressive. They go to the state solicitor's office and they just try to defend everything. So it's a more difficult battle, but there are some things you can go to, like WA Industrial Relations Commission and stuff like that. But it's important we get the right process for you, because that area of WA government, it's complicated legislation. A lot of unions do help in that, but it's a bit of a minefield, especially with the recent
contract
changes.
work, and I think this is TAFE that Dee's talking about as well. So which is slightly removed from the education system, I think. Dee, stay there. I'll put you back to Soph and to Kira, and we'll thank you, Nick. That's generous of you. Danny, stay there. We'll come back in just a moment. We'll take a break. It's 16 minutes to 11 o'clock. Nick Maruchak with us from MKI Legal. If you want to find out a bit more about the binding financial agreements or the prenups, where's the best place to look them up?
If you're splitwise.com.au is a great place. There is another app not related to us called Splitwise, but that's an American app to split your finances. It's splitwise.com.au. Go there, and that's where we do the cheapest BFAs, prenups in Australia. No one is cheaper than us, and that doesn't mean we're bad. We're actually really good because we use a lot of technology, and we just
that's excellent,
and that makes it a lot quicker and a lot more detailed.
Very clever name, Splitwise. We'll come back. It's 15 and a half minutes to 11. This time last week, Nick, you're only 39.
I know, but
young fella, young lawyer, young Turk.
Yeah. It's that psychological 40 thing that really, just, I've been saying I was 39. I'm in my 30s. That's what I've been saying all week. I'm still in my 30s. No.
Danny's phone in. Hi, Danny.
Starters, and Merry Christmas to you both.
Thanks, Danny.
Just a quick question first, and then I'll move on to a bit more of a complex one. My son's ex had him charged on a threat to do an unlawful act. Now, she has decided that she would like to have the charges removed from my son. How does she go about that, and what are the chances of it happening if she just changes her mind?
Yeah, so that's full of a little bit of landmines, because the decision to prosecute or not prosecute, pull the charges, is basically done by the prosecutor, the police prosecutor in this case. So they have to decide, and she's probably already given a witness statement, so she would have to voluntarily go to the police and say, no, the statements I made were incorrect. She tells the police that, then the police make a decision. Do they have enough evidence to convict on beyond reasonable doubt? And in that case, if she's the only witness and they don't have any other corroborating evidence, then they can decide to pull the charges. It's important, though, that your son does not encourage her or threaten her or do anything to try and intimidate her to do that, because then he's going to get another charge of interfering with the course of justice charge. So it's a decision that she has to go to the police station, tell them why she's changed her mind. It's happened before. I've seen it happen early on in my career when I was doing employment criminal cases. But so it's their decision, and then they will make a call whether there's enough. And if they still want to push forward with it, your son has to defend it. And if she's the only witness and she's been changing her mind, she's going to lose a lot of credibility on the stand. So it'd be harder to get a conviction. And your son should also definitely contact legal aid if he hasn't, because they provide legal advice here for free in criminal matters, because it's really important to have a lawyer assist him as well.
Thank you very much, Danny. Good luck with it. I think I can probably answer this in conjunction with you. Mark says, can you please ask Nick Maruchak why we have to refer to the Bondi shooter as the alleged shooter? And that status changes once the charges have been laid. That's the case, isn't it? So from a broadcasting perspective, Mark, we got the message yesterday. This guy has now been charged, so it goes from being, the shooter or the gunman or whatever to alleged, because it's before the courts.
Yeah, so it's basically it's defamation law here. So when he's convicted, that's when, because everyone innocent until proven guilty. Obviously, I'm looking at it and it's pretty hard to see how it's not him, but it's just a process the media follows, because say in other cases where someone there's been a story written about them and they didn't use the word alleged, you're making a statement that person's committed the crime, and then they get off innocent. that's a defamatory statement. So the alleged is just a way to cover people.
Yep.
And
it's a convention, it's a protocol, it's a broadcasting requirement, Mark. But thank you for your interest. 59 charges that were laid yesterday, so he's now referred to as as having allegedly committed the offences or facing the charge. Now he's been charged. G'day, Jean. How you going?
I'm fine, thank you.
How can we help?
I've got the house next door to me. I've got water coming into the cavity between the two houses when it rains, and the water is ingressing into my wall, causing damage. Now, the owner of the place doesn't, he reckons that it's not his problem. It's on his side of the house, it's not on mine. Otherwise, I'd try and do something with it. And he's given me the runaround. Now, I have got a report, and I've sent it to him on the damage, and he just won't recognise there's a problem coming from his property. Now, it's eventually going to go into the main part of the house, the actual floor, and it's going to do a lot of damage to my house.
Is it a detached home, Jean? Is it strata? Are you a duplex? How does the water get in?
It's coming because of in between the rain's coming into the cavity between the houses, and when it builds up, it's going into my house, into my wall. And he also, I have, because he's up higher than I have, and when it rains, there's also water coming into my yard. I've been ankle deep in water.
In your house or in your yard?
In the yard.
Right. Okay.
So this issue, what you want to look at is you want to look at the natural flow of the water. So did he do anything to artificially redirect the water or install something where he interfered with the natural flow of the water or the natural runoff to cause your property to flood? Did he alter anything on his side of the building to do that?
This has started when he moved in, or his in-laws moved into the house. He owns it, but it all happened started when he moved in a few years ago.
So you're going to have a stronger case if you can show that he's did some sort of renovations that interfered with the natural runoff of the water that caused your property to flood. If you can show that, then you've got a good claim for something called nuisance. So nuisance is everyone has this right to enjoy their property, and if water is coming into your property that's interfering with that right, and you can sue him for damages in the magistrate's court. If your claim is under 75K, if your claim is under 10K, then you don't have to pay legal costs if you lose, or can't recover costs if you win. So you can make that kind of claim, and the damages would be the damage to your property, any repairs. So that's something you can consider. And before you commence that claim and go straight to court, you might want to write him a letter arguing common law nuisance, and also potentially trespass as well. The other side of the coin, though, is if this is just the natural flow of the water that was always there without him intentionally redirecting in any way, that's a more complex issue. That might be something you want to speak to council about, because as a general rule, the council, I understand that they kind of say that any stormwater runoff should be kept on your own block, but that's a tricky question. So that's how I would answer that question. And you can sometimes, if you want to get him to take some action, you might want to go to the Magistrate's Court website, download a Form 3 or a Form 4, fill it out, and send it to him and go, this is a draft. I'm ready and willing to able to take this to court. If we don't take action to resolve this amicably, we're going to be in court. So that might cause him to take further steps. And the other thing is try the council, see if the council will help. That might be also an issue.
Yeah. All right, thank you. I hope that helped, Jean. This one from Lee. Nicky says, what a nice guy Nick Maruchak is, gives his time to 6PR listeners and to offer a discount, drop his fees. A very rare trait these days. Great guy. Merry Christmas, lads. Thank you, Lee. That's very nice. We'll leave it there. Nick, thank you for this calendar year. We covered a lot of territory, particularly around wills,
a lot of wills,
family trusts,
yep,
and the like. That's been a big topic this year for the listeners, hasn't it?
Yep. Australian consumer law was a huge one. We've done a lot on that. That was a big one. Dividing fences, a very popular one. Mm-hmm. Insurance and banks, going to AFCA and Surveillance Devices Act. These are a few of the common topics we've had. And I really loved it. It's been a great year, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas and some time off. And
All right, thank you, mate. And happy birthday and best of love for the festive season for you three. And look forward to the special news about you having at least 3 or 4 more new kids over the years.
Got to convince the wife.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Bowie.
Cheers, mate. Nick Maruchak from MKI Legal. It's 3 minutes to 11. We'll take a break. When we come back, Mick Collis will be in. The beautiful mind of Mick Collis. What will he have for us today?